kind of just tell me about you and your journey and how you got from where you started to kind of where you are in, short fashion.
I started off in IT. I have a computer science degree. I went to Troy University in Troy, Alabama. Worked in the IT field for about 9 to 10 years, and I learned quick that I wanted sort of a different life. My job didn't really support my lifestyle at the time being, so I had to figure some other ways out to make income. So I decided to take it upon myself to look into real estate. I got my real estate license. Shortly after that, I began wholesaling real estate, where that's where you buy and sell properties without utilizing any of your own money. And then shortly after that, I began flipping houses. Went through a few deals, quit my job soon after that, and I curated that into my own little business. So I invest full time, and I help others who are wanting to learn how to invest in real estate by chauffeuring a flip for them. So I show people how to flip houses here in Metro Atlanta. Yeah, definitely jumped from that particular industry to the next. It was a crazy transition, but I wouldn't take it back for anything.
Let's tell me about this. What do you think your biggest strength is? Like what's awesome about you?
I believe my biggest strength is, I'm good at speaking. I'm good at negotiations. When I put something to mind, I go full speed ahead. Specifically with real estate, I had no earthly clue about real estate back 3 or 4 years ago. But me personally, I know that I'm a go getter, and if I have a goal in mind, I'm gonna accomplish that goal and set some more. So I've really been able to utilize certain skill sets that I did learn in college, but having to sort of negotiate and deal with multiple sellers or real estate agents, I've really turned it into a passion, negotiating and um, turning transactions into real life deals. Not every deal or not every transaction in real estate is a deal. I think that's an art in itself to negotiate into a good price. So I think that's a wonderful skill set that I was able to pick up over the last few years.
So the other side of that coin, like what is it that you suck at? Like what are the things where you're like, as try as I might, this is just not me.
I think entrepreneurship is a tough endeavor in itself. So I think it's really difficult to sort of keep your head on your shoulders a lot of the time. I'm most comfortable with that definite income, and having a salary back in my old 9 to 5. That was pretty cool. But now that I'm an entrepreneur, there's times where I struggle with self determination. So that's one of those things. Oftentimes I struggle getting out of bed. So I really have to stay on top of my game as far as ensuring that I have to do what I have to do to support myself and my family and others, because I have a lot of people that depend on me in my business. So just a matter of me keeping my head on my shoulders. I think that's one of the things I struggle with today.
No, I think that's a good point. Sometimes I think part of what we do is how uncomfortable can we make ourselves,
Exactly.
because that might be what pushes us sometimes. So what are one or two pieces of like the best advice that you can remember someone giving you, in the past that's kind of stuck with you? Like what's some really good advice you've received?
I think the best advice I've received was from my mentor a few years ago. Basically, banking on yourself. Take the risk. If there's no risk, there's no reward. I read a lot of books, specifically Robert Kiyosaki. We can't become rich or wealthy by simply working. We need some type of passive or investment income in order to support the lifestyle that we want. A lot of us are stuck in the matrix, and so I've learned that our school systems, for one, that sort of keeps us trapped in that employee mindset. So the biggest recommendation that I've received from my colleagues is make that investment on yourself. That's going to be the biggest investment that you'll ever tackle. So take that investment on yourself, take the risk, and you'd be surprised what the outcome is.
Since starting your businesses, your list of businesses, because they're all kind of that way. What do you think are some of like the unexpected challenges that you didn't, because sometimes I think part of being an entrepreneur is like this uninformed optimism
Hmm.
where we just we're like, this is going to be great. Like all of this is going to be great. And so
Yeah.
what are the things that you look back on? You're like, man, I didn't see that one coming.
So especially in real estate, you have to expect anything. Expect the unexpected. Things will happen. One thing that I sort of get comfortable with now is basically accepting failure. You have to fail. Again, in school, they teach you that failure is bad. It's actually a very good thing to fail. You have to get comfortable with the fact that you're going to fail and you're going to succeed based off those failures, right? You have to learn what not to do in specific situations. So I expect 100 no's. I expect not to get properties under contract. I expect everything to go wrong on my renovations. I succeed based off of those small qualities, right? I'm not I'm not expecting to succeed all the time. We have to get comfortable with the fact that we're going to fail, and based off those failures, you learn and grow. Right.
Well, what do you think really differentiates you and your business if someone's choosing to work with you versus work with someone else?
I think what differentiates me from most is, there's a lot of mentors, especially on social media today, that, they're charging an arm and a leg to learn information that we all need to know. Me, myself, I not only offer that information, but I also hold people's hands throughout that process. And I don't know about you, but that's the best way I learn when someone literally shows me how to do it step by step. So what differentiates me is I charge a doable fee to not only learn information, but I'm going to ensure that you actually flip the house to make a profit. And that's different because again, there's a lot of people out here just charging money for information. I'm going to give you that information and basically take you through that flip process step by step.
What's something you wish you knew 5 years ago, which can't be with it can't have anything to do with COVID, which is why I went 5 years ago. I wanted to go like 3 years ago. But if there's something you're like, man, I wish I knew this, in 2018, like what is it that you wish you knew that would have gotten you ahead today?
I wish I knew how to leverage other people's money. I bought my first investment back in 20 maybe 12 2013. Had I known the information that I knew today, I would have grown that money a little bit more. I would have stretched it a bit further. But if I knew what I knew now, how to leverage credit and other people's money, hard money, private lending, all that good stuff, I would be a lot further in the game.
What do the next 3 to 5 years look like for you in your industry? Like what do you see as some opportunities? What are you optimistic about?
I'm optimistic about the real estate market. I know a lot of people are talking about the interest rates and all that good stuff, but I mean, if you look historically speaking, if you look at interest rates over the last 30 years, we're in a fairly good range there. It's still fairly cheap. So, my personal goals are to begin Burr Method, which is basically building more rental income. That's my end game. I flipped maybe 40 houses over the last 2 or 3 years. I'm still a novice. My business is still fairly new. But one of my biggest goals within the next 2 to 3 years is to purchase 5 to 6 rental properties and start slowly building my rental catalog.
Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pivot to marketing a little bit,
Okay.
and kind of talk about like when I say marketing, what's the first word that comes to mind for you?
Clients, clients. We need more clientele. That's the biggest reason to market. You need to market your business, market your brand.
Okay. So when you think about marketing, what are your expectations when you're like, I'm gonna spend $1,000 on marketing? What are your expectations when you do that?
A lot of my business comes from word of mouth, but my ideal goal is to put my brand in front of as many people as possible. That's the only way to sort of get more clientele outside of word of mouth. Yeah, my biggest goal through marketing is just to place my brand, my face, my programs in front of as many people as possible.
So what do you think some of your biggest successes have been in marketing?
I do know that it's good to outsource. So I slowly started doing that throughout the last year or so. But I think at this point, one of my biggest successes is just pulling in clientele. I don't do much. I do it through Facebook and Instagram. 90% of my business comes from the small marketing that I do. Whatever marketing you can do is going to be beneficial for your business, regardless of how small or big it is.
What pain point would there be in your business when it comes to marketing?
It's the time and effort you have to put into it. Again, I think that's one of the benefits out of outsourcing. We wear 1,000 hats. there comes a point where you have to outsource and allow someone else to do it. That's the only way to grow and scale your business. So one of my pain points is just having to allow someone else to do that, and putting someone on payroll to do that even. But I think that's another investment. That just goes back to one of my initial statements. You have to invest in yourself and your business to scale.
Your client acquisition plan. What is it that you're going to be doing to grow your business moving forward?
I'll probably spend a little bit more on marketing. I think that's one of the biggest pain points again is this, with the market shifting, specifically in the real estate industry, I have to do a bit more towards, curating towards those persons who want to dive in and learn a lot more with the real estate industry. So for me, within the next 12 months, outside of my own personal investments, I do want to continue forward with my business where I help people flip houses. So with that, yeah, I have to put a little bit more into marketing, maybe take a few courses and see how I can, go about pulling in some more clientele.
All right. We're going to close this out with a little bit of fun stuff.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie?
Wow. I love movies, man. Man, that is a tough question. That's a really tough question. I think one of my favorite movies to this day is Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay. I think I saw something recently where Christopher Nolan was kind of explaining the ending of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very confusing film. I have to watch it at least 2 or 3 times just to sort of understand what's happening. But that's a very, very good movie.
What is either your favorite or the most recent book you've read?
I'm actually reading The Laws of Success. So that's one I'm reading right now. I'm about halfway through. But yeah, I like self-development books. That's all I read. I have an Audible subscription, and I get maybe 2 or 3 books free a month. So
no, that's good. I'm the same way. I'd find that I consume so much more information listening to it than I ever did just reading stuff. So, all right. So, do you remember what the first concert you went to was?
the first concert I went to, this is sort of embarrassing, but yeah, this was back in heck, I think maybe 2000, 2001, maybe.
Yeah,
There's this group called B2K.
I know. Yeah.
I went to their concert with some friends way back in the day. That was the first one I ever went to.
Okay, that's all right. Listen, man, like my first concert was in the early '90s. So there's some stuff. I've asked this question all the time, and I get some crazy stuff from that. What about your free time? You have much free time?
Absolutely, man. That's one of the biggest reasons why I love entrepreneurship today. I struggle thinking about going back to a job, simply put, because I have so much freedom. That was one of the reasons why I curated a business, because honestly, I can make my own investments and just live off that. But I have so much free time, I had to do something else. But yeah, I travel, man. I like to take a trip, maybe once or twice a month. It doesn't really matter. I like to get outside of my city and learn new things.
Last question.
Okay.
First car.
My first car was back in 2006. It was a Ford Focus with a hatchback. It looked like a shoe.
Dude, hey, I had that car. I had a silver one. 2-door.
Yeah, that was the exact same one I had.
Yep. Man, that thing was like, I felt like I was driving around in a wedge of cheese.
Listen, that was the best car I ever had, man. It got totaled out by a fire truck. At the time I was working at GNC, and the fire truck hit it and it totaled it out. So I got a Camaro soon after that.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That was it, man. I really appreciate your time. I enjoyed talking to you. It was good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Appreciate the invite.